Hey guys, good morning. Roseanne White here, and it's Saturday morning, and I'm in my virtual training room in Scottsdale, Arizona, to talk to you today about how to keep your hips happy, how to keep them more mobile, more flexible, to strengthen them with our Life Pro Surgepro foam roller. And I just put the heat pad on it and it warmed it up. It took about 30 seconds, and I kind of forgot about this. So today, I am going to go over the benefits of using the Surgepro foam roller from Life Pro. I'll talk a little bit about it specifically. I'll talk about foam rolling, foam rollers, and I'm going to actually show you some stretches and some strengthening exercises you can do with the roller. So the Surgepro roller from Life Pro, Life Pro has been part of my personal and professional fitness routine for the last several years. As you can see, between the balance trainer, one of the latest vibration platforms, the Triform kettlebell, and my room is full of Life Pro products. I use them personally and professionally. So welcome. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know if you have a foam roller. If you have any questions while we're on the foam roller. We have done this video or this live a couple times already. So some of these things might be redundant. However, I kept getting cut off. My internet kept cutting me off while I was in California, and I was so bummed because there was still information to share with you guys. So the folks at Life Pro were gracious enough for me to come back yet one more time to talk to you guys. So here I am, Saturday morning, and I am just loving how warm this heating pad is. I forgot about it, so I digress. Okay, foam roller. Have you been using one ever in your life? You know, these guys are normally, I'm going to show you a few things. Foam rollers came out a while back. I don't even know how long, but they came out as white foam rollers, like noodles. And then they started making them where they get more dense. They're meaning they're not as soft, different same material, different blends. Then they started, different companies made them smaller with different things on them. Well, great. These are all really good. But Life Pro came out with something a little bit different. And I'm going to slide this cover off to show you our Surger Pro. So I just slid it off. The heating unit's in there. I just plugged it in the side. Here is our version of, there's Life Pro, the foam, their vibrating foam, and it's a vibrating foam roller. That's the difference. It's vibration technology. So all I have to do is hit this button 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I don't know if you can hear it, but it is vibrating like crazy. Oh, there's another one, 5. There's five levels, and then off. Okay. So vibration technology has enhanced foam rolling. Muscle fatigue is a common side effect for all of us for different reasons, whether you are an athlete, you're a couch potato, you're new to the gym, you're recovering from injuries. But, after a long time, whether you're doing repetitive movement or not, you're just very still, you're going to be sore and stiff. So what we do is we try to decrease our muscle fatigue. We try to get better blood flow into the muscles. We're trying to do all these things. And there's massage guns, which are also Life Pro carries. There's a lot of ways, but foam rolling is a really beneficial way. I have found out that using it as a self-massage tool, using it before workout, after workout has been very helpful. You can help to decrease the fatigue in your body. You can help with achy muscles. But the benefits of the vibration technology help people at all levels of fitness to get that self-myofascia release. And fascia is, as I said in the previous lives, and I say to my clients all the time, I call it the saran wrap. It kind of keeps us all in place under our skin, above our bones and between our muscles. It's just like the glue, the spider webbing, if you will. Some people call it spider webbing even, but it's together. But if you don't use it, if you don't stretch it and move it around, we get shrink wrapped, like saran wrap when it's really tight. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about foam roller benefits, but I think I want to jump in right now and show you not only how this vibration piece of vibration equipment works, then we'll talk the specs of it, because some of you might already be familiar with the specs. It is available on the website. I'll give you the link. I also will give you the routine. I don't think I put that in my previous tries on the live. So I'll give you the workout. I like to share the workout with you, so the workout, so you have something to look at, but also know that this is a recorded live. You'll be able to look at it at any time you want. It'll be on the YouTube Life Pro page. So if you're not familiar with that, we have a whole bunch of videos using the balance trainer, using the kettlebell, using the platforms, using all the things to help you to feel better. I'm going to move a few things around just to make some room. And then, like I said, I'm going to tell you more specs on this in a moment, but I'm going to dive into the first part of this. So this roller, I've got my notes in front of me, so give me a second here. I can't remember all the stuff that I have to tell you. So let me put this foam roller is, hang on for a second. Okay. It's got a 2 to 4 hour battery life. It comes with the charger. Here's the charger. It has a lifetime warranty, because Life Pro does that. It wants you to be happy with products. So all you have to do in the first 7 days, you buy one, you register it with Life Pro, guaranteed for life. And it's going to keep you rocking and rolling. There is a guide that comes with it. You'll get a guide that explains a little bit more about the product itself. But basically what we have is it's 11.5 inches long and 5.5 inches in circumference. It's a very dense polypropylene, and I'm going to show you this, how it's got flat surface. The surface is different, so it gets a little deeper into your skin, down to your muscles as you roll on it. So I plugged in the heat here. Oops, the heat. Yeah, I plugged in the heat here, right? But when you want to charge it up, there's a little port to charge it, and the button here turns it on. So it's the battery life is for over 10,400 hours, which is great. And the battery itself, once you charge it up, it'll last between 2 and 4 hours, depending on its usage. If you keep it going for 2 hours, that's it. But if it's intermittent, 4 hours. And it's got 5 settings from 28 to 38 megahertz. Okay. Also, the cool thing is it's got this little finger ring, if you will, that I can access the speed. So let me just show you first how I go into the stretches and move our fascia releases on the foam roller. I'm going to go on probably both sides. Maybe I'm looking at time to make sure I can get everything in. I'm going to start. I always like to start first with just releasing my lower back. Okay. And I'm going to put it on the knobby parts. Again, guys, if you have any questions, and I'm pushing the button right here. I've got to plug it in first. Okay. Can you see it's going? I can adjust it at any time. I'm going to start kind of intense here because I can handle it. I've worked out already. And I'm just going to put it in my back. You're going to hear probably how I am vibrating too, my voice. And I'm just going to roll a little bit side to side into that back area. Just rock and roll, just a little side to side. And I'm going to come down a bit and up a bit. Just hitting it out. Taking a few breaths into this. And I just reduce the speed a little bit because I know I'm going to chatter as I'm talking to you. And I'm going to roll into my back. So there is so much you can do with a foam roller. I don't want to go into my arms, all my leg muscles. I'm just going to show you hips today. That was the goal of this. I'm going to come on off of it. Now, the first thing I'll do, and I'm going to stop the vibration for a moment here so I can get on it. It's very, very low right now. I'm going to go into side lying, and I'm going to come right into the sitting bone, right where my sacrum and my hip. I'm going to roll into it just a bit. You can see I've got my support of my hand. I'll take my other hand back here. And I just want to roll into the piriformis and the glute area. I feel 30 seconds with vibration is going to do a lot more than hanging out on this for 2 to 3 minutes in that one spot. Straightening my leg, I'm going to roll into that side of my glute. This is my left side, from where my sitting bone is to the hip, top of the hip crease there, and back. I'm going to roll into my side. I'll work it a little bit more into the, what I call, well, it's actually the TFL, where the IT band ties into the hip. So I'm going to roll into that. Many times, I do this rolling a lot, so it's not so achy for me. When I put someone on here doing this the first time, it can be rather achy. So I'm going to rock side to side. I'll answer some questions in a moment. I just want to show this first side. And then I'm going to move myself. I'm going to move that foam roller down just a little bit lower. I'm not going to do too much IT band here, just about halfway into it. If you want a little more intensity, you can pick your leg up. You can put your hand on the floor and just roll. And it gets a little more intense on there. All the way back into my hip, all the way to the mid-thigh. And then I'll repeat other side. So I'm going to be on my tailbone. I'm going to rock side to side. I can already feel the difference when I roll onto the left side. It's not as bad as the right side, which I haven't hit. I want to maybe come down and up right on the sacrum area. So you'll feel the sitting bone area here. And be careful they don't shrug into it. You don't, what I call turtling. You want to push yourself away. You're going to use some abs doing this as well. And then we'll rock to the other side, and we'll hit the glute max. I'm going to roll into it a little bit more. I'll go onto the forearm. You can stay on forearm. Eventually, you'll go onto your hand. And then I'm going to straighten my leg out, and then I'll hit my hip. Again, forearm, or you could be on your hand. Depends where you feel more power to move. You can rock front to back, side to side, and I'll work my way all the way to that part of the IT band. This side actually needs more. I can feel it. I'm a little achier on this side. So I'm going to increase my intensity of the vibration. Actually, let me turn around and face you guys. I'm going to increase the intensity of my vibration on this. So you have that luxury of this. I'm all the way up to my high speed, and I'm really working into what feels kind of tight. Lift up your leg. All you have to do, and that adds you take up the lever, and you get more press into the foam roller itself. Again, watch your shoulder on this, guys. I want you to take care of the rest of your body at the same time, and roll forward and back. Great. Okay, let me see what I've got in the chat box. I realize my chat box is not on. I don't want to miss any questions. There we go. Okay, you got Facebook user. You got yours this week. That's awesome. I had ordered the Pro, but I didn't get the Pro version. Check with Life Pro. Check with those guys. You guys know that our guiding angels are always there to help us. I'm going to shut this vibration, this foam roller off right now, and talk a little bit more about what also comes with our Surgepro. You get this great bag, which I think is awesome because you can actually put your foam roller in the bag. I'm going to show you guys, people who don't have this, I want to show you what you can do with this. Because, it's, if you're at the gym, not all gyms don't have vibrating rollers. I always use the knobby rollers at the gym, but you can actually carry this with you. Got a drawstring, and you can sling it around your shoulder, and voila, there you go, right? Pretty portable. If you don't like the knobby feeling, you can put the heat element on, and you don't even have to plug it in. But that extra 20 to 30 seconds. I believe the heat temperature goes up to about 122 degrees. So that's pretty warm. That's a really nice amount of heat. What did I just want to tell you guys? Give me a second here to look at my notes. Okay. We're going to go ahead and work on the strengthening part, because that's the part that really got cut off in our live. And one thing I find with many people is lifting up on the foam roller can be difficult if your back is stiff. Okay, so know that first time that you lift up in a bridge, and we think that bridges are a piece of cake, right? You're laying flat and you go ahead and push up, or you get that big hip thrust and your hamstrings cramp. So if you know that you cramp, there's a couple things that are going on. You're not using your glutes, and maybe your hamstrings are really tight for sure, but you're not engaging your pelvis. So what I want to suggest, use your vibration roller, your Surgepro. You can just keep it between your knees. If you want to add a little bit of vibration in there, you can do that. I'm just moving my ponytail. You can add it because it's going to give some inner thigh work, right? But I want you to squeeze this roller and do pelvic tilts. So by doing this pelvic tilting, now you've seen me turn my head to face you. I want you to look right there. Okay, I want your neck to not be compromised. You're going to squeeze and you're going to get that feeling of rolling up. That's super important for you guys, okay? Because I want these glute muscles to fire up first. So do about 10 of these. And as you do this, you flatten, you pull up, and you lift, and then you're going to come all the way up. You'll feel glutes engaging, and then you roll down. Now, over time, as you've done this, the 10th time, you're going to remove it. I've got it in my hands, and I have it vibrating, by the way. I'm going to shut it off just so I don't lose control of things. I'm going to keep my ring handy if I need it. Okay, I'm going to roll up. Now, I'm right on top there. This might feel pretty high in the beginning, and it's pretty stiff. So if it gets uncomfortable, just roll down, and then you can roll back up. Okay, get used to that. So I'm going to put the vibration on. I'm right below my sacrum. It's hitting my butt. I'm holding on because I don't want it to roll away. And I'm just going to go cheek to cheek again, right on each side of my tailbone. I'm going to increase that vibration a little bit more. Holding on because I don't want it to get away from me. And then I'll slide one leg down, stretching the hip flexor out, slide the other leg down. Oh, my BOSU's the one, or my balance trainer's in the way. I'll move that guy. Okay, I'm going to do that a couple times. You can feel your butt cheek getting a little bit of massage here. So you've contracted it, now you're massaging it. Lift the hips and lower down. So give your knees a hug. Get used to that because it's a lot of extension in your spine. Take a break on that. Let me move this guy out of the way. There we go. Okay, so once we've warmed up our lower back and we've lifted up into a bridge now we can start doing a little more of the work on that. I'm going to come back to a bridge, coming to tabletop. At this point, if you want to put vibration on, you can. I'm not going to distract our workout with vibration, but no, you have that option because you can wear your ring. You have that option at any time to do vibration. Start with light vibration, then you can go to more intense vibration. But the main thing is I want you to make sure that you secure this foam roller, that you hold it. The first thing we're going to do is just tabletop legs. I call this marching in place. You will feel lower abdominals working. We're working our hip flexors, and we're feeling the fingers of the Surgepro as we are moving our legs. So I'm going to tabletop my legs a few times, and then I'm going to go ahead and keep my right leg up. From here, your hands stay down on the ground, And I'm going to actually go ahead and make circles, little circles with this thigh bone. You might notice your leg, your other leg's going to rock and roll. Don't let it. Keep anchored into the floor foot and make about 3 to 5 circles. I call these kneecap circles. And then reverse your circle. We are strengthening all these lower abdominals, and you're going to start activating the glutes and the muscles that support rotation in the hips. After you've done about 5 of those, again, mindful 5, stretch your hip flexor out. Now, you're going to repeat that on the other side. I'm going to go back and forth so we don't really fatigue out legs. Bring this knee up. My right foot is planted, especially that big toe, and we're going to make the circles. As I mentioned, you can always put vibration on. Hands on hips if you feel comfortable, or hands holding your vibration roller. They don't have to be big, guys. I want them to be even. And reverse it. I am literally crossing my center line and coming out. This is just letting my femur bone, my thigh bone, sink into the hip socket, working into the bursa of the hip joint or the hip capsule. And I think I mentioned to you guys that those of you that have been following, I had some severe piriformis stuff traveling to California and back. And this has been a lifesaver. After I've done about 5, I'm going to stretch out. Look at my foot. I'm just not relaxing my foot. Flex. Get your quad to contract. Your hamstring will lengthen. The glute will contract. The hip flexor, the psoas muscle, will stretch. And your psoas muscle comes from the inner thigh all the way up through your pelvis, all the way up into the thoracic area. So that's a big muscle that we're stretching out. It's an overworked and underpaid muscle. So I love this one for my hip flexor stretch more than any other hip flexor stretch I know of. So come back, and then let's take our butt down and relax for a second, because again, if you're new to bridging and this is a hard surface, this could be intense. Bring one leg up and the other, hands on your kneecaps, and make little circles. Now my hips are rocking side to side in one direction and the other direction. And that should feel really good. So, see, do I have any questions so far? No, I don't. Okie doke. We're going to go back to our bridge. I want to just make a note here right now. If you find that, okay, that was enough on the foam roller for right now, you can do this next part of it, maybe using your mini stability ball that you got with the Horizon Balance Trainer, okay? And then come back to the foam roller again. So give your tissue a break every time. But what I like about having the sacrum lifted and in neutral, I can work my hip muscles a lot more than just flat on the ground. Because flat on the ground, perfectly flat on the ground, we tend to flatten our back, and we're shutting these guys off. To maintain a neutral pelvis and make my lower abdominals have to work will help my pelvis to stay still, and I can really get that recruitment of muscles. I hope that makes sense to you, okay? Okay, so I did tabletop, I did leg circles. Now I'm going to go into bend and stretch, lift and lower, and crossover and inner thigh stretch. So that's 4 different things. I just lubricated the joint. Now I'm going to go ahead and get it a little bit more work. So let me cue you through this properly. Line everything up. Knees, feet, hips. Hands could rest on the side. You could see how I've kind of wiggled that foam roller close to me so I know where my feet are. I'm going to scoop the belly, and roll that foam roller. You can decide, do you like the flat side or do you like the little knobs? Make any adjustments you want. Then make the decision, do I want a little speed on here or not? I'm going to throw a little bit in. So I know that if I put my elbows down or my hands down, I can bring my legs up to tabletop and I'm okay. I'm balancing. You can hang out here and do one leg at a time or both legs. Let me show you what I mean. So in the first one, I'm going to go ahead and from a bend to stretch. Bend, stretch. I'm only going to do 5, guys, okay? I push out. I stop that knee right over the hip. I'm not going over because see what happened? I want to keep neutral. Bend and straighten. Once I've straightened, I'm going to lift. There's a beautiful hamstring stretch. Besides that, that thigh bone sinking into the foam roller. Lower and lift. I've got lower belly muscles working. And by the way, when I lower my leg, my glute has to fire up to hold the weight of my leg. So let's do 2 more. And 1 more. Then you bend the knee and place the foot down. My camera is fuzzing out because it's trying to focus on me, so I'm going to give it a second to refocus. There we go. I'm back in place. The technology, I'm at mercy with it. Bring up the other leg. You can straighten and bend. You can see my foot's pointed. You can also flex. Do what feels good for you. You can do both, point and flex. But breathe. I'm always anchored. After I've done about 5, hold out straight. That quad is working. Lift up. There's your first hamstring stretch. Lower down. There's the glute. Quad is working. Glute is working. Hamstring is lengthening. Hip flexor is lengthening. And remember about that stable leg on the floor, that it's not moving. Bend the knee and place it down. Let me just show you what it would look like if you did both legs, okay? I want you to get that option. Hold on to your foam roller. Tabletop. You stretch and bend. It becomes a little more intense. I've got to go slow. My camera keeps fuzzing out. Take a breath. Push out. And back in. Press out. This is core training too, guys. And if you've when I talk about using your core muscles, I'm not only talking about your abdominals, I'm talking about your hips, your back, your shoulder stabilizers. Okay? From there, we can hold the legs out. One leg comes up, one leg comes down. Now, there's a lot more core strength needed and a little bit of coordination to make this work. But again, those are options you have, as long as you're breathing. And I'll do 1 more each side. And bend your knees in and place your feet down. So we can take a little break, roll that foam roller away. I want to shut it off so it doesn't get away from me, and hug your knees in. Do your sacrum circles or pelvic circles, 3 in one direction, 3 in the other, and release your back. So we're going to build on to this. Resetting yourself. I've done bend and stretch. I've done lift and lower. Now I'm going to come up, roll. So remember your scoop. I'll remind you, scoop to lift, adjust, add vibration if needed. And my next one is going to be called a crossover. So I come to tabletop. I'm going to stretch my leg. Now this is where it gets tricky, guys. I'm going to put my hand on my hip crease to cross over my center. Here's my center. I'm crossing over, and then I'm going out. You do not want your hips to move. There's a stretch in your inner thigh, and you cross over. Take a big inhale and a long exhale. And 3 to 5, slow and steady. You're using a lot of your transverse abdominis. And when you cross over, you're going to feel a little bit of your IT band stretching. I'm not rolling. I don't have a lot of room. This is not that wide. Remember, 11.5 inches. So I want to keep my pelvis, my sacrum still. And then come back down. We'll do the other side. Tabletop. Lift. Now, if you feel comfortable, this is an option. You can straighten the other leg. I'm just going to give you options along the way. Take what you want, leave the rest. But if your leg is straight like mine is, flex your foot. Don't let that straight leg be sloppy or lazy, because then you won't have the stability. Okay, you've got to really anchor. My right glute is contracting as I cross over. Doesn't my foot look like it's like a size 20? 20. One more. And then come back to center. So that was our inner thigh stretch and our outer hip stretch. And again, we were working on stabilizing. From here, you have another option. I'm going to keep my left leg knee bent, foot flat, and I'm going to go into really big leg circles now, because I've worked on this mobility from the start of kneecap circles. And I've got these beautiful circles. You might have a little bend in your knee, that's fine, but I want you not to just have a lazy leg here. I don't want you just want to flop around. I want you to try to stretch it out as far as you can and get your quads to get strong and long. And then we reverse the direction, about 5 of those. It's requiring hip stability, lower transverse abdominis, quad, and glutes. So a lot of muscles working. And then place it down. Okay, I'll go to the other side. Now, again, you can straighten this leg out or you can keep it bent. You decide. I'm going to give you that option, and I want to show you. Cross over, come down and around. Exhale as you cross over and around. Inhale. Let's do a few more of those. This should feel really good. My hips are still, I'm just putting my fingers on the hip bones just to make sure they're not rocking and rolling. So I can't emphasize how much core stability this is, hip stability and strength you need for this. And reverse it around for 5 and 4. You can go little circles if you want. Say I made it much smaller. That's fine. It gets a little more concentrated in obliques as well. And then release. Let's go ahead and do one more thing before I come off the roller. It's 2 legs. Tabletop, legs up. We can open, crossover, open, crossover. We call these crisscrosses. Be in control. Just don't let them flop out here. Okay, I want those I want everything. Here's lazy legs and here's strong legs. You want really strong legs. All the muscles working. After you've crisscrossed a few times, now I want you to be very cautious when you do leg circles. It takes a lot of strength here. I'm not making big ones. I can go down and around. That's really big. But if you're new, make little circles. Just let those thigh bones make circles in one direction and the other. Just 5, okay? Bring it down. Feet planted, lift the hips, and release. And rock a little side to side. Now, I'm giving you a lot of stuff, guys. A lot of different work as a newbie or someone who's got some issues in your tissues, or you've had surgery or you've had a fall. Just do one at a time. I can't emphasize enough. Just take care of you by trying that. See how it feels. Give yourself a day. See if you've got any, you've aggravated anything, or if you've got some relief, and then just build up. Okay, this is a program. As you get stronger, you add 2 exercises, then you add 3, and then you have a whole routine. So the next thing I want to show you, and I'm doing this in reverse. There's the figure 4s I want to show you, and I want to show you clamshells. So we're going to go back onto our back one more time for our figure 4s. Lay flat. Adjust spine, head looking, or eyes looking over knees. Feet are in parallel. Scoop up to lift, roll it, And actually, at this point in time, I bet that heating pad would feel really good because we've really worked into this tight tissue of the lower back. And there's a lot of connective tissue in your hips, in the lower back area. And a lot of people will say, oh, my back's so stiff and tight. It's because, well, let me chat through this a bit. We sit so much rounded back here, and this tissue gets overstretched. So when you go to sit up, you can be really achy. Do you get that feeling when you've been sitting rounded a lot, that it's hard to stay upright? All these muscles are overstretched. The tissue's overstretched. So when I have you laying on a foam, the Surgepro, those muscles are contracting. You're in a neutral pelvis, and all these lower back muscles are contracting, and that might be new for them. It's a new experience, so you might be a little achy. And if that's the case, just hit your Surger and just let yourself roll into that a little bit. Put some more blood flow back into that area. That's at any time. If you're feeling a little achy, just roll it, lift your butt up, and roll a little bit here, side to side on the spine. 30 seconds or so, back and forth. And then come on off. Just give yourself a moment, okay? Okay, figure fours. I hope this is making sense. If you have any questions, again, please put them in the chat box. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and back on. I went through all my routine to get there. I'm going to bring one leg over. Here's my figure four. It looks like a four. Hands are now anchored down. I bring my foot up off the ground. I've got a glute stretch on one side, pushing this knee away, a little rock side to side. Hold on if you want, or hang on to the floor. You can make little circles now, just like we did the pelvic circles flat on the floor. Now I'm rolling right about 3 inches below the belly is my center of my circle. Then I'm going to reverse my circle. Make sure you're breathing when you do this. Bring your foot down, uncross. Let that leg that you crossed over stretch. There's your hip flexor stretch. Maybe take an arm with it. And switch sides. Left leg crosses over. I'll give myself a moment for that inner thigh to relax. Hold on to your foam roller. Lift. Keep the bottom leg, instead of dropping that foot down, again, I want you to have your toes higher than your knee. You can hold on to the floor, the foam roller, rock a little side to side. You want to give some assistance to the crossed over leg and push away. And once you feel like you're pretty good here, you can go into your circles in one direction. Oh, those feel so good. And then the other direction, they don't have to be big. And then you bring your bottom foot down, uncross, and stretch out that hip flexor. You like this, stay there. Otherwise, reach your arm overhead. Big stretch. And then you'll come down. We'll take a moment here, bringing the knees to the chest, roll to the side. So I hope this is making sense so far. Give me a thumbs up if it is. And the last thing I want to do, which was the first thing I did on the last video, does that make sense? Is the inner thigh and the clam series. You want to use your ring here to adjust your vibration levels. You can have 5 levels from 28 to 38 hertz of energy. I'm going to start on this is my left side. I'm going to start lifting my hips. My forearm is directly under my shoulder. And the first thing I'm going to do is have my top leg behind, and I'll roll a little bit. As I did when we first started our session, I just roll a little bit. I'm going to add some vibration there. And then I'm going to hold on to my leg, and I'm going to lift my inner thigh. So we did a bunch of inner thigh stretching when we were laying on our back. Now we're doing inner thigh strengthening. About 5 of those. You're really going to feel on the bottom hip. Hold your leg, make little circles. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and reverse it. You see how my toes pointed. You can flex your foot if you like that better. You'll feel a difference. Great. And then I'm going to cross over and I'm going to roll right into my groin area and hit that psoas a little differently. You can rock back and forth on it. You can go side to side on it. Remember, the first time I learned about the psoas, one of my teachers said, think about a piece of filet mignon. You know how nice and juicy that muscle is that we're eating from a cow. There's no fat in it. It's just a nice, thick, big, ropey muscle. And that's what the psoas is. It's a big, ropey muscle, and it connects the upper body to the lower skeleton, and it's strong. It's meant to be that way, but we want it to be flexible too. Okay, once I've gone on there, and I'm going to shut off my vibration now. That was enough for me for that. We're going to go into our clamshell series. Reset yourself. We want hips stacked, and you can see how I was kind of slacking here. Lift up. Oh, I just thought about this. You can take your ball underneath you just so you know you're not leaning on it. Just kind of reminds you to stay lifted. Okay. We're going to do clamshells. Let's do 5 of these, open and close. Now I'm working deep into the rotators. I'll keep my knee lifted. Now I'm going to lift my bottom foot. I'm in external rotation. I'm going to keep it lifted, and I'm going to go deep into the glute medius with little pulses. And we can finally circle around. You can do knee circles, or you can do leg circles for 5, 4, 3, and reverse. Excellent. And you'll come back down. Okay, let's do that to the other side, and we'll wrap this live up. I hope it's been helpful for you so far. Coming to the other side. Again, vibration or not, it's totally your call on this, but you have that option. That extra vibration is going to just help you to go deeper into your fascia to release any soreness, any tightness. Come on. First, set yourself up. Check your head. I see this all the time with people. They're looking down on the ground. Pull your chin in. Lift your ribs up. Use a prop. If you don't have a ball, maybe use a yoga block, something to remind you that you're being lifted, okay? And you're working all the bottom muscles. So I started with my top foot behind, and I rolled front to back. Again, massage or not. Yeah, I think I did massage on this. Let's do this on here because that'll feel good. We just worked that glute medius, that outer hip, so we want to give it a little love. And then you can roll over into the groin area, right into that hip flexor, and come up and down. Make sure you take nice big breaths when you do this. Oh, I guess I needed that on this side. And then come back. I'm going to shut off my speed. And now we're going to go into inner thigh strengthening. Take that ball underneath you, lift up, and we're going to go for 5 of these. Press down on the back foot, lift the inner thigh, point or flex your foot, whatever feels good for you. Hold up. We're going to make circles in one direction, just 5 of them. They might be small, they might be big, depending on your strength and mobility. And reverse it. But breath is important. Excellent. You'll bring the knee down, and the knees are going to be stacked. Position yourself that you feel secure and lifted. And we'll go into clamshells, 5 of these. Open it up. If you feel that this side is weaker, you can always keep the knee up and give it a few little pulses and get that glute max and medius to kick in and give you that little extra oomph you need. Then the foot comes up. and down. So we're creating some endurance into this hip now. From here, we can go into our pulses up without the hips rocking. And then kneecap circles are one option. I'll do 5 in that direction, or you can straighten your leg out right now and then reverse it. You can keep the knee bent or straighten the leg out. And then you get a nice big stretch there. Perfect. So come on down. And I believe that is everything I finally wanted to show you. And I did it in about 45 minutes. So I figured that. But every time I did this live, it kept shutting off at about not even 30 minutes. So I hit everything I wanted to. I didn't talk as much about the benefits of foam roller. But again, if you are new to foam roller, check out Life Pro. You've got the option of the heat. So tomorrow, if you're a little fatigued from this workout, go ahead and put on the heat pad. Give it 20 to 30 seconds to heat up at 122 degrees. You can lay on it and just roll a little bit, 30 seconds to a minute in your tight areas. And don't work out tomorrow. Just give it a rolling, a fascia release day. But you're going to get the best results if you add your vibration to it. You'll start with light vibration and over time increase the intensity. As always, I hope this was helpful for you. If you have reviewed this video post live and have questions, you can contact me directly through Facebook or Instagram, or private message me, or email me at info@livefit.com. I'm honored and privileged to be a part of the Life Pro team, along with Amber and Debbie and all the amazing staff and customer service of Life Pro. It's a pleasure, privilege to be part of the family. So I hope you guys have an amazing day. I'm here to support you, to help you to live fit and age well. Have a great Saturday. And I am done working. I'm off to grocery shop. See you guys. Bye for now.